What is up, everybody, here today in a brand new YouTube video. Before we get into it, make sure you've gone down below and click the subscribe button and the bell as well, so you always get notified whenever I post a brand new video. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, and you can always unsubscribe later if you're unsatisfied with the content that I make. But moving on, everybody, let's get straight into today's video. What's up, guys? We are here on Monster Legends today to check out a brand new monster. Yes, I have finally waited long enough, and he is finally ready. I am talking about Lord Nebotus. He is in the hatchery right now, and I am actually going to gem him right out so we can start testing him, seeing what his skill level is, seeing how good he really is, because I have heard a lot about him. Haven't seen his skill set yet because I honestly have wanted it to be a surprise. But let's get straight into it. So if I click on the hatchery and click on him, 17 gems to skip. And as you know, yes, I did. As you know, yesterday I purchased the Legends Pass just for this, just so I could check out what this monster is capable of. So we have Lord Nebotus, or otherwise known as the Lord of Corruption. All right. Now, and it looks like we can already rank him up, but we're not focused. We're not going to be focused on that today, everybody. But also, I have a pretty cool name picked out. Yes, I've named him the Corruption Lord instead of naming him Lord Nebotus, just because I wanted him to have a pretty cool name. And that is one that I have picked out. But moving on now, let's get on to his traits. So what makes this monster really good, everybody, is that at rank 0, he is instantly a bulwark, meaning that any time an enemy performs an attack on him and they have a negative status effect to give to your monsters, 50% of the time he will not even take it. 50% of the time it has a chance to miss. The other 50% of the time it could hit. At rank 1, he gains anticipation, meaning that when an enemy performs an attack with an extra turn skill, he will perform an attack right before them. And next up, at rank 3, he gains area immune to possession and corruption, meaning that at the start of the battle, he will give all you and all your allies immune to possession and corruption, which is a pretty neat trait as well. At rank 4, he gains status caster area nightmares, meaning at the start of the battle, he will give nightmares to every single enemy on the battlefield. And then finally, at rank 5, everybody, what makes this monster so good is he gains status caster self evasion, meaning that any attack that is performed on him will not hit at the start of the battle. But that also does not apply to pierce monsters. So that is the only downside to evasion. But moving on, let's go on to his very special skill, which is Eternal Evil. Removes all negative status effects and gives 100% life and stamina to himself. Applies Pierce to himself and removes 50% of life from all enemies. That is the greatest special skill that I think I have ever seen on a monster in a while, everyone. That is the greatest skill I've ever seen. As for relics, it looks like you can put a sword on him. So we are actually going to go with Cane Sword for not only damage, but also life healing. And we can also put armor on him. We're going to go with his regular Nebotus armor, since he is Nebotus, actually. And because it also heals him. And mainly for this monster, we want to go with healing, not damage skills, not damage relics. And as for ruin slots, we only have one when we unlocked him, so yeah, that's not really. It's not that's honestly kind of bad. So it looks like I'm gonna have to unlock him. But as for now, let's focus on feeding him. Okay, and just like that, ladies and gentlemen, Lord Nebotus, or the Corruption Lord as I've named him, instant level 100. Now, let's go check out his skill set and what skills he can use. So first up, we have Evil Cut. Deals moderate special damage to one enemy and applies bleed to one enemy. Or we have Corruption Lord, which I actually is the funny thing that I named him. Deals heavy dark damage to one enemy and applies corruption to one enemy. Next up, we have the Lord. Deals moderate dark damage to all enemies and applies nightmares to all enemies. Or we have Impure, which removes positive status effects from one enemy and applies a 3-turn death countdown to one enemy. And aka good for Mega Taunt monsters. Next up, we have Mad Whispers. Deals heavy dark damage to all enemies and applies blindness to all enemies. Or we have Awful Dreams, which deals moderate dark damage to all enemies and applies nightmares to all enemies. So we're definitely going to go with that. Next up, we have Thal Osar. Deals massive special damage to one enemy and applies bleed to one enemy. And then we all finally have Fly High, which applies evasion, double damage, and precision to himself, everyone. So a pretty good skill, if I have to say so, for a positive effect skill. Although I would like to change up Awful Dreams for Mad Whispers, just because it deals heavy dark damage and also it applies blindness to an enemy. I'm not exactly worried about any of the tortures, since he doesn't give off that many torture effects. But everybody, this is by far the ultimate monster, the most ultimate monster that I've seen. Although I would have liked him to have had a multiple enemies attack for the corruption status effect giver. But now let's head into some multiplayer battles and see how this monster does. And only at level 100, might I just say. First of all, let's get rid of Armor Claw, just because he's level 150, and I don't want him to get rid of my Lord Nebotus on the first attack that he's able to do. So yeah, we got rid of him. Now let's apply Pyrobic Shield so that he takes no damage at all. And then let's clear his status effects using that. Now let's go with Fly High just to give him evasion, double damage, and his precision. Then let's get rid of the positive. Okay, well, I was going to try and get rid of the positive status effects on him so that Lord Nebotus won't have a harder time trying to deal with them. Alright, then next up, let's go with Impure to get rid of positive status effects from Krampus the Killjoy, and meanwhile also applying a 3-turn death countdown while also getting rid of the negative status effects from. So that's what makes this monster so good, everybody, is that he is pretty much an anti-Mega Taunt monster / anti-taunt. Because he can get rid of all negative status all positive status effects from enemies. Well, the positive status effects from enemy, unless they do have positive effects protection. But he is also okay. Well, I just got special skilled. But also, what makes it good is that he can also get rid of Pierce from a monster if the monster has Pierce as a status caster effect. That's what makes this monster fairly different from all the other monsters, especially since he is by far the greatest corrupted mythic that I have seen so far. Let's go into his second battle just to really get another taste of what this monster really can do. Of course, though, I would like to, I really want to continue to rank him up and see what he really is capable of. And, okay, well, I meant to, I didn't really mean to do that. I meant to, leave, but, 2 monsters, except for the Megaton, for, Lord Nebotus. But I guess he can still take on Moonhaze since he is a dark and she is a light. Let's just heal a little bit just to make sure he doesn't get killed. And, okay, well, I ran out of stamina and my Master Staff is no longer regenerating my stamina anymore. So it's kind of bad. So it looks like I'm going to have to get rid of, wait for the stun to fall off of Lord Nebotus. And then I'm going to have to regen my stamina again. This is going to be a while. Okay, now he's just applied it. Let's just get rid of that. Okay, now we're ready. You're now ready, everybody. Okay, now let's go with that to apply the 3-turn death countdown. And the stun should make it so that it should wait a while. And then let's hit Moonhaze with Corruption Lord to give her that extra corrupted so that the 3-turn death countdown can fit. Yes, and the 3-turn death countdown can finish. And just like that, another battle has been won. So everybody, I think I have done enough battles to come to my final conclusion on this monster. He is by far the best and the greatest mythic that any Legends past has came to be. He is by far the greatest corrupted mythic that I've seen through the entire corrupted season, right from the beginning, everybody. And I'm going to continue to rank him up. If you want to actually see me get him to rank 5 to unlock all his unlockable traits and his status caster skills, all you have to do, everybody, is go down below in the video. Make sure you click the like button and I will make it happen. But without a further ado, everyone, that ends off today's video, and I will catch you all in a brand new one. Goodbye.